Breaking news tonight is very sad. We've learned that a longtime former news anchor and radio personality in Lexington has died.
Sue Wylie, who was 90 years old, died tonight following a traffic crash here in Lexington. That crash happened at Alumni Drive in Shinaway Road. Police say it involved 5 cars and 3 people were taken to the hospital. The Fayette County coroner says Wylie died at the UK Medical Center. Wylie worked at WLEX from 1968 to 1998 and was the station's first female anchor.
And after leaving television, she went on to have a long career in Lexington radio, hosting a show on WVLK where she took call-ins. Jack Patty at WVLK just spoke with her yesterday on his radio program and is remembering her tonight as his very dear friend.
She was a legend. She was a pioneer. She really cared about making sure that people, when she was in the television end of it doing news, that they were informed without bias and prejudice, and the fact that she just would do things that no woman had ever done before in broadcasting. First anchor in Kentucky in the news, was one of the first, if not the first, in Miami, Florida, before she came here. She was just Sue Wylie was just completely unique.
Well said, a trailblazer. Wylie was inducted into the Kentucky Journalism Hall of Fame in 1999 and was awarded a Silver Circle Award for her lifetime achievement by the National Academy of Television Arts and Sciences. And just a personal note, as an admirer who became a competitor with our political discussion shows on the weekend and then a friend, Sue Wylie always asked the tough questions but carried herself with amazing class during her storied career and beyond.
Yeah, and Jack Patty saying just yesterday she was on the radio talking what she loved,
yes.
politics.
Oh, no doubt.
She will be missed.
No question.